Being more connected than we are today. We have connections via our computers, our phones, even our watches. Yet everyone is so lonely. Everyone is searching for someone to bring them out of that darkness. But the reality is, that's not going to come until they put their phones down. What I've realized more recently is the more time I spend on my phone or on my laptop observing other people's life through social media, it makes me feel significantly more lonely and more unable to achieve the things I really want to achieve. Because when we watch other people live out our dreams, it makes us feel like, to some conclusion, we are living that reality. And when we put our phone or our laptop down and we look around us and we can see those things aren't the case, it brings about this sense of deep disturbance that we've spent hours thinking or tricking our brains into that being the case. And then we put that thing down and then realize, no, none of that's happened. I am a loser and I'm all alone. Which is a really sad reality to think about, especially when you can literally pick up your phone and call anyone basically in the entire world. And the chances are they will answer because they are also deeply dependent on their device and on the distraction that we call social media. Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook initially for dating, and then it transitioned into the ability to be connected. He wanted the world to become as connected as ever been, and he achieved that mission. He allowed people to stay connected after they left school, so they could understand or know what people were doing with their lives past when they were seeing them face to face. That was really the start and the downfall because what started as a nice mission, a nice goal to achieve something as beautiful as connected the entire world has turned quite deep and dark, and like I said, has made people feel more alone. Like suicide rates are constantly increasing, and I am gonna point the finger and say it's because of things like these social media apps that take our time away from us, take our drive away from us. I don't know if you've ever done this, but you spend some time scrolling on short form content, and because there is no longer an end to that content, you can waste hours. And when you come around to the realization that you have wasted hours, you feel sick with yourself that you have just done that. And it's a weird sensation knowing that you have literally wasted your day. People used to waste their days by doing things that would still be seen as productive in today's society. But now we can literally be lying still for hours. If our phones weren't in our hands, we would look insane. If you were just lying on a bed staring at a wall, someone would probably want to send you to an insane asylum. But now it's considered normal. It's the normal thing. You ask someone what they did today, and if they spent the entire day on their phone, they will say they've done nothing today. That they're normally too embarrassed. I know I've been too embarrassed in the past that I spent the entire day on my phone, that I will just say I've done nothing. And if someone says to me they've been doing nothing all day, I know they've just been looking at their phone because they have literally been doing nothing. But we've created this society where it's socially acceptable to do so, which is just so insane. When we look at all the data, it all suggests that this is not a good thing for us. But yet, these companies, and we can't blame them because they've done such a good job at making such an addictive thing that no one can put it down. And even if you can put it down for a certain period of time, at the end of the day, your willpower is going to fade as it requires for most of us to be able to stay connected to our friends and know what they're doing in their lives. We have to be on these apps. And that's not to say that there is no solution. I think by claiming there is no solution, it takes power away from ourselves as individuals, which is a terrible thing to do because we all have a choice of putting these phones down and picking up rocks. I'm joking, obviously, but even picking up a brick phone, something that doesn't have access to the internet or social media, but just has access to phone numbers. By being able to just call your friends, even if you speak to them once a month, having a 10 to 20 minute conversation is going to be far more fulfilling than watching their life through a screen as they take a highlight reel. Because at the end of the day, social media, although it does connect us, all it is doing is showing the positives. I don't think anyone is going on social media and they've taken 500 photos of themselves on holiday and they are not posting the bad ones. They are posting the good ones because we want to show off. We want to show that we are living a good, fun, fulfilling life. We don't want to show people that the reality is that we're alone and we hate our lives. It goes back to looking at pharmaceutical companies as well and seeing how they are pumping drugs to people. And they're pumping drugs to people for things that I believe are caused by phone addictions. We are messing with the chemistry of our brain, the chemicals in our brain. We are messing with the balances of those chemicals because we are forcing ourselves to release so much dopamine from a screen that we are literally becoming dependent and attached to a screen. When you think about your phone, we use that word phone, mobile phone. It is so much more than a phone. A phone is used to call and text and maybe play Snake if you've got one of those old brick phones. But now our phone is our everything. It is our emotional support. If we're feeling down or feeling stressed, we pick up our phone and we start scrolling because that will regulate our emotions because we get a nice hit of dopamine. We have become addicted. We have literally become drug addicts to our phones. We use them for everything. The thought of losing a phone can be catastrophic to oneself. Because if you think about everything that's on your phone, from the pictures, your bank accounts, your phone numbers to friends and family, if you have friends and family in other countries, there is no way that you could regain those phone numbers without using social media, without seeing them in person. Which, out of those options, which one's going to be more viable for you to use? Obviously, it's going to be using social media. So we've become so dependent on these things, whereas really we should be using pigeons or something. Because although that is a stupid, crazy idea, they're very effective and they do work super well. But at the end of the day, that is inefficient and unreliable because so many things can happen to a pigeon, whereas sending a text message is almost instant and requires no effort whatsoever, or money for the most part, besides obviously your monthly bill. So to conclude, the solution to all of this is to put the social media down, is to go out and talk to people. And if you are feeling upset or depressed or alone, you have to know that you are not any of those things. Because at the end of the day, there is one thing that is connecting all of us and is there for us at all times, and that is God. If you've not taken time to open your Bible recently, I would highly recommend doing so, or even just closing your eyes, putting your hands together, and praying for those things to be taken out of your life if you are not enjoying them. I have no idea what I've said for the past couple of minutes. Words have sort of just left my mouth. But I hope this has been somewhat beneficial for you, as this is how I feel about this subject. I feel very strongly about this subject because I have felt very alone in periods of my life when I have been ultimately super connected to everyone around me. So don't take these things for granted. Do not take your life for granted. Call some people and make sure they're okay. And if they're not, maybe you should go and see them. That is that. Have a good one.